So, truth orienting. What is truth orienting? So, it ultimately really is just that simple. It is truth orienting, moving, becoming. At first, it can likely start from a place of seemingly I, the individual that I take myself to be, the individual self, my individual identity, is utilizing truth, which we all have access to. We don't always want to have access to certain truths or many truths. But I, the individual, am using truth to orient, to find clarity. So, for instance, one thing that is a question that will carry you all the way through, is what actually really matters. This is a great truth-orienting question. What am I doing? What am I looking for? If I'm looking for anything, is there something to look for? Is there anything wrong? But most of us, most humans, most of the time, do have a sense that there is something wrong. Something's not quite right. So, this first question, which I think really is like a beacon you can put out in front of you, right? What actually is the most important thing? The most important question is, what's the most important thing? And by thing, I don't mean object. I just mean what is orienting you? So for people, they could say, well, I want money, or I want health, or I want happy family, or a partner, or children, or financial success, or acknowledgement, or appreciation. So we start to look inwards. We start to tell ourselves the truth, even if it's a truth we don't really want to have, right? I really want people to think I'm special. Right? It might not be something we'd want to broadcast out there. You know, there's this idea of shame in any sort of self-interest. But really, if we're going to orient using truth, we have to use the truth. We have to. Or else, really, if we're not orienting via truth, then what are we orienting via? What else is there? There is reality and truth, and then there is what you could call the realm of illusion, fantasy, right? So, but we can trace these things down, can't we? So if I want someone to think I'm special, is that really what I want? Well, we could ask a great question. What do I think I would get if people saw me as special? Is that what I want? I want people to see me as special and then the end? Or is there some expectation of what that would bring about? Am I looking for something that I believe is inherent in people thinking I'm special? And generally, what you'll basically come across, and this doesn't mean don't do this for yourself. It's very important to actually walk through this. But generally, what people will come across is, I want to feel good. I want to feel happy. I want to feel like everything's okay. I want to be happy, right? Or I want to feel safe. And you can even check, why do you want to feel safe? So I can relax, so I can just, right? It almost gets beyond words. Or I want to be loved. Well, why do you want to be loved? Because then everything would be okay. And even if we follow that, we can keep following this truth. What do I really want? Even if everything was totally okay, everything was totally okay, no problem, nothing wrong. Happiness, peace, is that the end? Do you then just lie in bed for the rest of your life? No, even then there's, I want to live. I want to connect and interact and explore. So, usually we have as a prerequisite, first I have to feel happy, then I can live. Of course, I have to live, but if I could just take care of all this stuff, I could get to this happy place. So we're starting to orient via the truth, right? What really matters? What's the most important thing? Big question. And a big question that will continue to, you could say, mature. And I don't mean mature as in it's better when it's mature. It's just it will reveal itself in new ways. Now, on a more practical, I don't want to. That is very practical, what I just said. But on a more moment-to-moment kind of basis, truth orienting is extremely useful because it can catch the mind in its lies. Catch the mind as it creates the world that brings about suffering. So if we find out we don't want to suffer, or we want to really be free, or we want to, whatever we find, or we want to know the truth. What is the truth? What is real? I want to live in reality. I want to meet reality. What am I? What is reality? That can also arise. It's very powerful when that becomes the guiding force. But again, the only way to let's say mature is to walk through your own experience. So start where you are. If what you want is for people to think you're special, start there. Really check it out. Okay? Okay. So I was saying on a more in-life type of thing, to catch the mind, right? For that, let's take a situation. Let's just say someone you know did something not nice, mean, said something to you. And your mind goes, he shouldn't have said that. You're going to feel tightness. The second, and this is important, the second you oppose reality, you will start to suffer. The instant you go into opposition, you will start to suffer because you have disconnected yourself from the truth. Reality is the truth. You are reality. You are the truth. You have just kind of tried to rip yourself apart from yourself, which doesn't work, but when you try, it hurts. Anyway, so the mind, the thinking goes, he shouldn't have said that. The body contracts, it hurts. Great time to go, wait, what's really true here? Like the body is like an alarm system. It goes, hey, you're not in the truth. You're not in the truth. Hurts. And you go, okay, so what is actually true? He shouldn't have said that. Yeah, well, it's not nice. He should have been kind. He should have. So let's say something more true. Is there something more true than he shouldn't have said that? How about he said that? He did that. Right? Shoulds and shouldn'ts. Shoulds and shouldn'ts generally have no basis in anything. If they're used for advice, good. Right? If they're used just, you should wear a jacket because it's cold outside, it's a great use of the word should. But usually, a lot of times at least, shoulds are a great indicator that we are going into opposition and we are going into illusion or non-truth. We are doing that. So you could say, he shouldn't have said that. No, the truth is he said that. He did that. He should be nice. How do we know that? How do we know what should be? The truth is, and it's not even necessarily the truth, but you could say more true is he wasn't nice. And that can even be questioned. You can look at the truth of that. He wasn't nice. Is that really what was happening? If you really check him out, he's probably actually scared of something. He's defending something. You can actually hone in on the truth. And as we come into contact more and more with the truth, we will find exactly what it is that we are looking for. We will find it to be here now. We will find we are what we're looking for. But we need to move through this mind-made separation, this filter. That's why in many of the traditions, contemplative traditions, spiritual traditions, it's called illusion. It's seeing things as they are not. It's seeing things not clearly. Right? When you're awake, you see things as they are. When you're asleep, you're in the dream of mind's interpretation, seeing the world through the filter of mind. That's illusion. It's not what it is, it's what my mind is saying about it. Right? Everything. You can look at the plant. Right? There's a plant here. We can call it a plant. We can describe things with our mind, but that's not what it is. The plant is infinitely more than what our minds say about it, as is everything. So we can really start to come into contact with reality and live here, or we can live in this dream world of opinions, positions. So check it out. If you let truth orient, what do you find? And it may be scary. It may not always just be a liberating experience, because part of liberation is moving through that which we don't want to see, especially what we don't want to see about ourselves, the aspects of ourselves that we may not even know are there because we resist them so much. Remember, you have every capacity within you. You have it all. You have murderous rage. You have, what do people say is bad? You have prejudice. You have every capacity in you. Anger, meanness, self-centeredness. But when we see them, that's just what it is. We're not tied to it. We're not hostage. And by meeting ourselves, we set all of those parts of ourselves that are stuck, we set them all free. We set them free.